New facts have emerged on the 2014 murder of Sydney underworld gangland figure Yousef Assoum. Details have surfaced only after the Supreme Court partially released the suppressed information. It is being reported that detectives discovered Tarek Zahed's fingerprints inside the vehicle where Assoum was killed on December 11, 2014. Police also allege that Tarek and the youngest of the Zahed brothers, Abdul Zahed, met Assoum in a street in Yagoona late that night. An argument erupted and the brothers started attacking him. It is unclear as to why Assoum agreed to the meeting or how he was lured into it. It looks like the brothers planned the attack and came prepared for the meeting. After the argument, the brothers tied Assoum's wrists and ankles with cable ties and kidnapped him by bundling him in the back of his Volkswagen Touareg. Once inside the vehicle, the two brothers started their brutal attack by allegedly stabbing Assoum in the head and body, before shooting him in the right thigh with a .45 caliber handgun. The court heard Assoum, who was either seriously injured or even possibly dead by this stage, was then driven to Bankstown and dumped close to 50 meters from the entrance of the hospital and was discovered by an off-duty doctor. Due to his significant injuries, he was rushed to Liverpool Hospital, but could not be revived. Police say that the car was then set on fire in the suburb of George's Hall 6 days later. After forensics completed their investigation, the report suggests that detectives discovered a blood-wrapped bullet containing Assoum's DNA and Tarek's fingerprints inside this Volkswagen. Besides Tarek and Abdul Zahed, who were charged with murder and kidnapping in company with intent to commit a serious indictable offense, a third person named Triantafylos Vlangos, 44, was also arrested and charged with being an accessory after the fact to murder. He was accused of attempting to destroy Assoum's car by setting it alight. Prior to the murder charge, Abdul was arrested in a dramatic sting when he returned to Sydney from Melbourne. He was sentenced to 2.5 years jail in Bankstown local court on August 4, 2022 after pleading guilty to drug supply, proceeds of crime and ammunition possession charges stemming from a police operation in January that year. At that time he was wanted on an outstanding arrest warrant when officers tracked him down at the Mercure Hotel in Liverpool on the morning of January 20, 2022. The court heard that Zahed and a female friend were seen to enter one of the hotel rooms at 5:35 a.m. and exit at 3:30 that afternoon. The pair caught the lift to the car park, where Abdul got into a Volkswagen Golf and the woman an Audi A4 sedan. Detectives followed Abdul to a street in Bankstown, where he parked the car and headed into a nearby house. Tactical police subsequently surrounded the property and approached the front door, prompting Abdul to run out of the house and try to jump the rear courtyard fence but was grabbed by police. As officers were grappling with him, Abdul shoved his hands down his underwear and tried to tear open a plastic bag containing 37.45 grams of heroin, but failed. The bag was confiscated by police. Officers also discovered $22,000 in cash on the ground where Abdul had tried to scale the fence, along with 95 rounds of .22 caliber ammunition in a white Woolworths bag. Like his elder brother, Abdul too has a notorious criminal record. A copy of his prison record showed Abdul has a history of disobeying prison rules and had previously been charged in custody with intimidation, inciting a riot, entering the cells of other prisoners and possessing jailhouse weapons, for which he received reprimands including being confined to his cell for 5 days and a ban on phone calls and visitors for up to 3 weeks. As for Comanchero Sergeant-at-Arms Tarek Zahed, he is still struggling to get bail. Tarek was remanded in custody after his arrest and has twice sought bail. In the Sydney's local court, all applications were considered behind closed doors in secrecy, and ultimately refused. A third and the latest bail bid, heard in the Supreme Court on February 2, also took place in complete privacy, with neither the public nor the media allowed access to the proceedings. The outcomes of the application was itself expected to remain a secret, however a carefully redacted version of the judgment was published by the court late on Tuesday afternoon. It revealed Tarek's primary reason for wanting bail centered on what his legal team claimed was the lack of appropriate medical care he was receiving in custody to treat injuries sustained when he was shot in the face during a failed assassination attempt outside an Auburn gym in May 2022. The last application was also dismissed.